So you have at least about 5 things that you thought about doing, either professionally, recreationally, but these 5 things are things that you're really good at. Maybe nobody knows, maybe a couple people know, maybe you're just finding out or waking up to the things that you feel like you've been here to do, right? Waking up to your purpose. Now, this video is going to be mostly about how to narrow it down and how to figure out exactly what you should be doing. So that way you feel super fulfilled, and that way you'll know that you're walking on your path, right? Because naturally, it's human nature to want to realize why we're born. We're so special. It's so beautiful. It's so majestical as to why we're even here, right? The fact that we're human in this body, in this race, in this feeling, in this day, in this age was very strategically thought out by our creator. So it's natural that you have these thoughts to want to figure out like, what actually am I supposed to be doing here? So the number one thing that I feel has helped me realize more about my purpose is ask yourself this question. What is the one thing that you very rarely can go without doing? Now, before you really try to dive into that, maybe you want to pause this and then press play when you figure that out. But why that's so important is because a lot of times the thing that we're best at is the thing that we don't even really care to do, or the thing that we'd rather not do. We may not even be passionate about it, right? I feel like society has done such a good job. I don't know whether it was ill-intended or not, but I think it's done such a good job in making us think that, oh my gosh, I have to be passionate about this. And this is just what I know I want to do. And this is going to be fantastic. Sometimes it doesn't feel like that because you're so used to it. It's just part of you. So some of you guys may be really good at tennis. Some of you guys may be really good at speaking or really good at gaming, really good at motivating, really good at doing hair. And you don't even think about it. So there's some natural abilities that you just simply have that you may be overlooking. So what this video is basically a reminder to help you think about those things. So what I want you to do is pause the video, get out a piece of paper, and write down the things that you do regularly and you do easily. Right there's your sweet spot. Now, for some of you guys, you may be like, man, well, I don't want people to see me do that, or I don't want to have to figure out how to break into this industry or do this thing. But technically, that is your path of least resistance, right? Because sometimes we think that there's no way I could already be equipped. There's no way the creator put me here with these gifts and it's just like that. Life has to be hard. It has to be a struggle. It has to be something that is extremely laborious in order for it to mean anything. But that is so untrue. Sometimes our gifts and the things that we should be sharing with the world are the things that we do the easiest. So I want you to figure out what that is, because a lot of times when we think, oh, we need 10 more classes to do this, or I need to, in order to really be purposeful, in order to do my own thing, start my own side business, or go up this corporate ladder, or whatever it is we're trying to do. If you need a whole lot to be able to reach that, sometimes that's good because you just want to hone the skills that you naturally have. But sometimes it's telling you, well, if there's that many obstacles to you being able to do what you're supposed to be doing, like the purpose that you're here, then perhaps it may not be a purpose. Not to say that that's not a means to an end or something that you should ignore now. If you're trying to go to school or trying to get smarter about something or trying to sharpen your saw, by all means, go ahead. But I do want to say that what I've noticed is that when it's your purpose and it's something that you just naturally do, it comes from the path of least resistance. So don't always think that your path or your purpose comes with so much difficulty, so much stress. Sometimes you have people going after dreams for years, 10 years, 20 years, 5 years. And little do you know that if you would have just tapped in to whatever it is that you are already great at, you could have already had some level of success, right? And this video was not to bash ourselves or not to be like, damn, why didn't I do this? Or I knew I should have did this. It's really a data point, right? Because we want to tap in more with ourselves because we usually know. You don't really have to go to anybody. You don't have to ask anybody. We usually have an inkling of why this is our purpose, or what our purpose is, I should say. It's not something you have to find. It's already within you. You were put here with it. Like you're literally made up of your purpose. It's not something that you need to go and discover. Sometimes when we're not listening to our intuition and we're not used to listening to our intuition, that's when it gets foggy. That's when we get confused. That's when we take all these detours because we're not exactly as tapped in with ourselves as we should be. So this video is also, I want to say, giving you guys that nudge, or that's what I hope it's doing, to give you that nudge to really tap into your intuition. The goal of this video is not to, at the end, oh, I know my purpose, now I can go after it. Now, if it's that easy for you, congratulations. But if it's not, I at least want to invite you to think a little bit more deeply about your intuition. What are some ways you hear your intuition? Let me know down below. How does your intuition speak to you? Can you discern your intuition's voice? What does it feel like? What does it sound like? How does it register in your body? Because sometimes when we're so full of nonsense and there's drama in our life and there's chaos and we're unhealed and we're trying to do our inner work, or as some call it, our shadow work, it's difficult to kind of hear the most pure parts of us. But those things have been put down into our spirit for a reason. So I need you to discern whether it's fear speaking, whether it's your traumas speaking, or whether it's your intuition speaking to you. What I've learned to differentiate between anything else, any other voice versus my intuition, is that usually I can be run by fear. And the way that I know is because fear makes me want to do it now. It's urgent. It's like, it comes with a level of haste. It comes with anxiety. It comes with frustration. It comes with feeling less than, or like I wasted my time. Whereas my intuition, when it speaks to me, it's very quiet. It's very soft. It's more of an incessant nudge. It never goes away. It's always there, but it's very quiet. It never bullies me. It never bosses me around. It quietly whispers because it doesn't go away. And that's something I want you guys to hone, or tell me in the comments, how do you distinguish between that voice, right? Because the sooner we can distinguish that voice, or really get into the nitty gritty as to why we feel the way we do, or as to what our purpose is, once we get better at that, we'll be able to define our purpose and what it is. So for me, I feel like your purpose could be lying somewhere around the path of least resistance. What is the thing that you can't go a day without doing? Now, for me personally, when I realized it, I'm like, all right, sorry for all the noise. I'm like, all right, Alyssa, what is it that you can't go without doing? I'm like, I'm not necessarily the most, it's not like I'm this great painter, or I can sing. I try to sing. The shower sounds real good, but or I can sing, or I draw really well. I write really well. I don't have those things, so I always got stuck there. But what was so interesting is that almost every day of my life, I can't think about a day that I didn't pretend that I was recording a video, or that I was on stage speaking to people. So no brainer why I have YouTube channels. I have other channels too. I used to be a teacher. So I was always in my purpose, but I didn't really realize it. And now I get to express my purpose and express my light to the world in the way that I want to do it. So I think that was a really a pivot point for me, because it helped me learn, like, wow, I've always known that this was my purpose, or it's always been with me, I should say, but I wasn't able to identify it, right? Because I have other people in my ear, your parents, your guardians, your loved ones who are well-meaning, but listen, they can't see what's here. They don't know the gift that's been put on the inside of you. That's a relationship between you and you, or you and the creator. That is why it is important that you know how to listen to that voice. Because even though you might have well-meaning people saying, oh, you should do this, or oh, you should do this, they don't even know what the hell they should be doing, right? They're probably not even in their purpose. So it's a very personal journey. It's not a journey that you just go on lackadaisically and ask this person for their advice, ask this person for that advice. Honestly, I'm anti-advice when it comes to my purpose, because you can't tell me that. You might have some people come around you and say, you know what, you'd be good at this, or you'd be good at that. Strangers, teachers, cousins, and maybe they might be onto something, because sometimes other people have a way of seeing something in us that we can't see in ourselves. But when it comes down to people telling you exactly what you should do and how you should do it, I tend to veer away from that. Like, I'm scared of you, right? Because you don't even know what you should be doing, and you're telling me what I should be doing. That's my own job, right? And then another thing, when it comes to finding your purpose, we all have a purpose put in us, because not just because it's so that we live a fulfilling life, which is also our birthright, but it's also our service to the world. Like, we're given special gifts, special thoughts. We all have unique ways of thinking, unique ways of being, unique ways of acting. And you're supposed to share that. That's supposed to be expressed in some regard. Some people are athletically gifted. Some people are vocally gifted. Some people are lyrically gifted or have wonderful, brilliant minds. And when I say brilliant minds, don't get it twisted and think that just because somebody's college educated or not, or because they have a high IQ or not, that is any kind of indicative of what your greatness is, right? Because I love the saying, it says, you cannot measure a fish's, how does it go? You can't measure a fish's genius by its ability to climb a tree. I definitely butchered it, but you cannot measure a fish's genius by its ability to climb a tree. It's not meant to climb a tree. So some of us who didn't do well in college or do well in school or didn't do well in certain tests, that is no barometer as to how successful you will be. So anybody who's watching this that didn't finish or felt less than educationally, or you didn't really excel scholastically, that's okay. That just wasn't part of your genius. Your genius might be in a different way, or in a way that your school couldn't support. Not for nothing, but school does make really good workers. And perhaps you are a bit different than that. And that's okay. And there's a beauty in that. Whether you're young or whether you're older, it's really something that you'll always have, because you'll always have your purpose. You always have time. I don't care if you're 80 and I don't care if you're 19. You'll always have time to live out your purpose because it's yours. It never left from you. It's your job, though, to be able to listen to that. And people need that. Right? Because when you're in your purpose, or when you watch somebody in their purpose, maybe you watch Gabby Douglas doing gymnastics, or you watch Michael Jackson perform, you watch Kobe Bryant perform, there's an awe that you're struck. You watch certain people dance, you're awestruck because you're watching somebody literally doing the very thing that they're supposed to be doing. It comes, so even though there's a lot of work and a lot of repetition and a lot of hours put in, but what you see is something so effortless, so poised, so wonderful. And they do it like that because that's a passion that's driving that, because they're living out their purpose. So you too have the ability to have that same glow, that same joy, inner joy, and for people to look at you and be struck by you, and to look at you and be inspired by you. That is your light. You have to allow that to show, because you're literally doing the world a disservice by you not operating in your full authenticity, by you not operating in your purpose. Right? So again, when you close this video, and I know, YouTube, I'm always on YouTube. I'm always watching videos. Sometimes I get off of certain videos and I just go on about my day. But this one is going to be different for you. And I'm telling you that because the very least, if you take away nothing, take away the ability to discern your intuition. Take away the fact that you need to be able to hear the difference from your trauma speaking, your mother's voice, your father's voice, people who weren't so loving to you, their voices, versus your intuition. Because sometimes you might have negative thoughts and they're not even yours. You're regurgitating certain, I want to say, programs that people have instilled in you since young. Right? So it's not so much about learning that it is unlearning. We need to unlearn, so that way we can have that childlike zeal for life that we were born with. That's not something that you should subdue. Your childlikeness and your will for curiosity, your want for curiosity and to find this out, you should not subdue that. Please don't dim that light. I beg of you. We need you, and we need you to express that. And remember, I'm not saying you got to build some multi-billion-dollar company, or you got to make a TV show. Some people's purpose are on a global scale. Other people's purpose is in their community, is in their household. Sometimes you might just have a purpose of, it's not just, because just kind of insinuates that it's something small, but it's huge. What if your purpose is to be a fantastic father, a fantastic mother, or somebody who sparks the light in others as well? In some way, your purpose could be in those things, but you could be overlooking it because you're waiting for your purpose to slap you in the face. It's not going to slap you in the face because you've always had it. So subconsciously, you've been operating from that place, but you just don't even know it. So I want you to also look at yourself and say, when you get out that piece of paper, ask yourself, like, what am I naturally good at? What am I naturally shy about? Should I strengthen a little bit on that shyness? Is there something that I'm really good at, like making people feel good, or I'm really good at math, or I'm really good at something? What is it? I know at the end of this video, you can name at least 3 things, you can do it, that you're really good at, even if they're little. So I want you to think about your day from when you wake up to when you close your eyes. What are some things that you feel like you've done satisfactorily? Even if you think it's small, even if you think it's insignificant, even if you think it's stupid, I don't care, because it's not stupid. Right? We're talking about your life here that is special. There's a gravity that you carry just being here. You were meant to be here. Think about how beautiful that is. You know how much had to go right for you to be born in your specific body, form, DNA, lineage? You know how many people had to get pregnant and go on down the line for you to be here? And you're going to tell me that there's not something wonderful that you're supposed to do? So if you're feeling depressed, anxious, or unfulfilled in life, understand that that can be a fleeting thing. That does not have to be a space that you occupy for the rest of your life, even if it's been going on for a long time. Right? We always have the ability to rewrite, because we always have the ability to do a new thing. Right? So again, I just really want anybody who's watching this to wake up to their greatness, because for me personally, like before I started like my YouTube channel, and I have other channels too, but before I started that, I was a teacher, and although I was satisfied because I love kids and I love teaching, I love speaking, I wasn't doing it to the capacity that I wanted to do it. I wasn't affecting change in the way that I saw for myself. And I would say that I'm much more fulfilled doing these things than I was ever being in some sort of job trying to fit and mold and shape and push and force myself to be something I wasn't. Initially, I went to college and I was supposed to go to law school, but I didn't, because it was more so my dad's dream. I'm not even a political person. Like, I'm not. So imagine that, so I just want to share that, because I just feel like there's so many of us who are letting our dreams go down the drain because of what we thought we should have been, or what we should have been, what we thought we could have been. But I just want you to lean into the idea, well, what if perhaps that wasn't supposed to work out, because you're being led down a different path, a path that is more fulfilling? That can also be true, right? We give so much energy to our negative thoughts and so much energy to the things that went wrong. Let's go give the energy to the thing, well, what if this is better for me, even if I can't see it right now? That's always a possibility. All right, so my name is Alyssa. Thank you so much for watching my channel. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and comment. We need to run this channel up, because I've got some changes to make in the world. You've got some changes to make in the world, and we're going to help each other accomplish that. So thank you so much for watching, and I'll talk to you guys soon.